Hi, good morning.
Hi.
And your name?
I'm Joe Morris.
Where are you from, Joe?
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Great. What classes are you running today?
I'm just going to run Class 4 Proto, which is a McCoy 60 car. It's a reproduction reissue, McCoy Invader. I actually ordered this directly from Dick McCoy.
Terrific.
No, but I see a little bit
uses a reissue tester, glow head engine. So there it is. My dad actually took the motor down and built it. Phil McGee actually did all the machine work on it, and he's a famous drag engine builder for full-size stuff. So there it be. So give you a good look at it. It's a pretty photogenic car.
Wow.
Give you a nice 360 of it.
Yeah, what kind of fuel you run in it?
Right now we're just running mild 40% nitro. 40%? Usually had been running on like 75%. I think is the most we ever threw at it.
What's your best time, or what's best speeds?
Usually it was consistently running 125.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much, Joe. Okay. Good luck to you.
Good morning.
And your name is?
Bob Oge, O-G-E.
Gotcha. And you're from what, Indianapolis?
No, I live up about 50 miles west of Chicago, out in the country.
Okay. And looks like you run almost all the classes, or do you have...
just three classes. Class 10A, class 10A is this one. 10B is Wanda. This is this one.
Now, is Wanda the record holder?
Yes.
Okay, and then you're running the...
in its class.
Okay, and you're running...
10cc.
10cc world class, huh?
I'm trying to.
Try to keep up with the boys, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine. My name's Paul Gators from St. Louis. What's yours?
Charlie Murphy from Virginia.
Hi, Charlie. What classes you running in?
This time I'm just running world class 10cc, and I'm going to run my Class 4 Invader, because there's somebody here that thinks that he's better than I am, and clearly he's not.
I see. I think I heard him chuckle.
No, that was the rod knock in his car.
Oh. Well, they are old motors.
They are very old.
Very old motors.
They're way older than I am.
Really?
Yeah,
really.
20 years.
Well, I want to wish you all the luck in either class, and have a great day, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm Walt Wilson, and this is Ted Mason. He's an old-time racer, too. And this is a Cox O-Fin powered dueling frog that he built. You want to tell about it?
These are made out of billet, solid billet aluminum on a CNC. And the modern CNCs are just what make this possible. Otherwise, you just flat. But once you get the scan of the original size one, once you get the scan of the original size, then you can make them any size. We've done this size, we've done one that's about half an inch bigger, and then we did one that was 2/3 the size of the original frog. And they're the front suspension of this one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And this one I kind of grabbed to bring when I was getting all the stuff ready to come up here.
So you have several of these?
I have 6 different models.
6 different.
There's this one, there's a McCoy spur car, a teardrop, 2 different sprint cars, an English 3-wheel racer, and a roadster.
Wow. Well, thank you very, very much for sharing that with us.
Thank you for being interested.
You guys. What is your name, sir?
John James.
John? Okay. What is your name?
Leroy James, California.
Very good. That has to be Stu Hamill down there
No,
pumping up the juice.
I'm from Indiana.
Okay, Stu. Thanks.
He's the one that should have it.
Well, good afternoon.
Hi. Okay.
What's your name?
I'm Dave Lundegaard,
Where are you from, Dave?
Pasadena, California.
All right. How far does that put you from Whittier Narrows?
Oh, about 15 minutes.
Oh,
I'm close to the
tough
track.
life, right?
Yeah.
You get to run every other week if
We're
you
out
want
there
to,
every
huh?
meet. Yep.
What classes do you run?
Right now I'm running in World Class 5, which is 10cc. That's this car.
And
fun.
How fast do you run today?
196.
And you got a lot more in it, you say, right?
Well, I think I could squeeze a little more out of
A
it.
little more out of it, always.
Could get a heat in tomorrow, but we might be rained out.
That's what I hear. I hear a lot of rain maybe coming in. I guess what year is this motor? There's so many new Pico motors coming out, the Testarossa, EXR, etc.
This one's called Generation 8, and it's the model before the Testarossa, and it was current production as of about a year ago.
And okay, does this have the extended intake like the new EXR?
No, it does not. I've modified this to fit my car, and this has an Ellis Eagle Zimmerman valve on it.
Oh, okay. So, well, the parts evidently interchange.
Yeah.
I noticed you have a very beautiful brass tank there, and do you check for leaks in your tank maybe after every run?
No. I've pressure tested, and I break down the car all the way, and like before I came to this meet, I had everything apart and going through every, all the way down to every nut and bolt, and I noticed that I was developing a small crack in this mounting lug in the front, but you wouldn't have noticed it unless you had the whole car apart and closely inspecting everything, and so I caught it before I got here, otherwise it probably could have cracked, and I fixed it before I got here.
Which definitely affects the engine runs when they leak, right?
Yeah.
Considerably.
You don't want the tank leaking.
Right. Well, is there a particular name for this particular pan that you're running?
Yeah, the pan is out of France. It's designed and cast by a guy named Michael Duran. And the engine is Italian. It's a Pico 60, Generation 8, comes from Monza, Italy. This flywheel is from Horst Daimler in Germany. The same for the gearbox. And then this pipe is Pico pipe. And then all the other pieces are fabricated, and has a carbon top.
Nice.
Matches it.
Now your suspension, is that your own design or is that part of the chassis?
No, it's my own design.
Very nice, very nice. How long you been doing this, Dave?
Almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years.
Yep.
And where did you get started? Out in California?
Yeah, Whittier Narrows. Hamels and I started about the same time. They were manufacturing a car, and I was out there running an old McCoy car, and kind of started about the same time.
The old McCoys, it kind of gets everybody, doesn't it?
Yep. At the time, Harold McCoy was running out at the track, and there was lots of activity out there, and I'd go out, I was flying model airplanes, and I'd see the guys out there at the meets, and every time I saw the cars, I was always gravitated towards it. I came over and, can I get a kit, or how does it work? And they're like, oh, we all just network and we're a club, and you just got to, he said, talk to Harold, his dad may still have some stuff, Dick McCoy.
Yeah.
So I talked to Harold, and he says, yeah, call Dad, I think he's got something. So I got a rolling chassis from him with no motor, and I got the shipment in, and I called him, I said, what about a motor? He's like, I don't have any engines. I said, well, what am I going to do? He says, we'll go to Collecto or Swap Meter. Those, you can find one. I said, well, when's that? He's like, I don't know, next September or something. I'm like, what? I said, the race is this weekend. I want to run the car. He said, are you going to run it? And I said, yeah. He said, well, hell, I got an engine for you. Because I guess all the collectors had been, he thought I was just going to put it on a shelf and not run it.
And
when
look
he found
at it.
out I was going to actually come out, he sold me a brand new old black K60 McCoy.
Really?
And I brought it out to the track and had it in the car, and a guy came up to me, a spectator, he says, that looks like an old McCoy 60. And I said, it is. He goes, that's a black K60. You know what that is? And I said, yeah. He says, you're not going to run it, are you? And I said, yeah. He said, that looks brand new. I said, it is brand new. He goes, my God, you're going to run that? I said, yeah, I'm going to run it. Went about 100 miles an hour, and that was it. And I just got hooked, and ever since then, I've just been loving it.
Amazing.
Just kind of moved through different classes, and now I'm in this class.
I too started out, well, I still am, in pylon racing and stuff for a lot of years.
Yep.
And what I have found is technologically, this is the most interesting hobby because of everything has to work together.
Yeah.
The tires, the engine, the glow plug, the shims,
especially on these types of cars with the tune pipe, it's really tricky.
Now I noticed this pipe too, what I call from the racing days is a broadband pipe because it's got a wide area here. It just doesn't come up and converge and diverge.
Yeah.
And in other words, it becomes very peaky. It wants to be at 1 RPM and that's it.
Yeah.
And do you happen to know what these engines maybe are turning at when they're at full song?
The run today was very close to 29,000 RPMs.
And that's calculated by tire diameter versus speed, right?
I'd done the math on that earlier in the hotel.
Wow. So I heard some of them freewheel a little early. So these cars are somewhere in the 28 to 30,000 RPM range to be in the I guess in the winter circle. I guess
30,000 RPMs is 500 cycles a second.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yep.
And well, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I'm going to put together a little video for the guys. Try to talk to as many as you can.
Sounds good.
It's a pleasure meeting you, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
That was 193.6. Hi, my name's Paul Gators from St. Louis. What's your name?
I'm Stuart Hamill,
Where are you?
Westminster, California.
Westminster, California. Who's this person over here?
I'm his father. I'm Charlie Hamill from Huntington Beach, California, about 2 miles from Westminster.
So how close are you guys to the Whittier Narrows track?
We're about 20 minutes away
Oh, so
by freeway.
and you guys run every other week, is what I hear. Is that correct?
Yes, every other Sunday, basically. Sometimes there's a holiday. We don't, we'll move it around, but the schedule is we put a yearly schedule in the computer under the AMRCA website, so you can just look at the schedule anytime in the computer and you'll see if we're going to be there or not.
What class do you run, Charlie?
I run mostly
Or class?
smaller cars, and this is what the heck is this? Lost my train of thought here. Well, 9A. I have some 9A cars with the 40s in them, and this is a 6B car
Nelson 15
with
in
a
it?
Nelson 15, and Class 6 is you're allowed to run up the small engines with the modern engines, and then Class 7 is the same thing, 9, 15, 19, and 29, but they're vintage engines. You have to run you have to have a baffle of a piston.
Are reproductions allowed?
Yes.
Okay, so that helps a lot, doesn't it?
I don't know. I guess it does.
Well, new metallurgy maybe?
Yes, yeah, it helps some.
Well, let's swing over here to
Stuart.
Stu goes fast, doesn't he?
I try to.
What's your fastest cars that you run? What are you on? A
I
World?
run the world class, the 60 size, and I've done 204 with that, Whittier. And then I run the class 3A, 60 size. I'm the current record holder at 176.
Was that at Whittier Narrows
That
too?
was in New York.
In New York, 176.
3 years.
Great day, huh?
3 years ago, or 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I run the hot rod series stuff when we first got into it. When we came to Whittier, it was mostly just world class. All the open wheel stuff had gone away. So we kind of came into it and built the belly tanker, the SoCal Lakester from Bonneville.
Wow.
And we cut our teeth on that, and I got a little better and learned a little more watching the guys. And then I got into the 5cc world class, and then got into the 10cc.
So how long have you been doing this? Has your father, was he racing before, or did you guys do it together?
We both got involved around the same time, around late 97, 98.
Okay.
We've always been model builders, airplanes, and
Sure.
boats and such.
Do you consider this particular phase of the hobbies that we had, like you said, airplanes and boats and etc., probably the most difficult to be competitive at, or where does it fall
Tether cars is probably the most difficult because you can't just go and buy the stuff anywhere off like a hobby shop. Once you do acquire the stuff, you got to hunt it down. Mostly comes from Europe, and then you have to be able to machine the components and make it all fit.
Well, it sounds like you're having fun, though, and that's the bottom line, isn't it? Huh?
I don't know.
Huh? What's that? What was that, Charlie?
Yeah, we're having fun. Otherwise, why would we travel all the way here?
You know, it's
But you know, getting back to what Stuart said, when we started, it was mostly the streamliners and that, and we weren't the originators of it, but there was a guy on the West Coast that originated the hot rod class, and it had to be a car from the 1950s, midgets, Indy cars, Bonneville and dry legs, and so it was called modern nostalgia. You could have the nostalgic car, you were allowed to put a modern engine. It got very popular, and it outnumbered all of the classes for quite a number of years. And we started off, as Stuart said, with a belly tank. And I think, how many have we built and sold?
Probably about 50 cars.
50, yeah. And a lot of static ones. Most of the ones we built up have engines. We would take them to the track. We'd run everything, you know, and then mail it to the customer, and then that was it, because I don't think out of all the ones we built, probably 5 of them ever made it to the track. They just were put on a shelf.
put on a shelf. A lot of people do that.
Which is okay.
Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you both for the time you spent with us. You have anything else you want to say? Are you having fun at Anderson? I mean, this is the oldest track in the world, I believe. I know it's the oldest in the United States.
Probably, it must be the oldest in the world. I never thought of it.
The oldest one left, yeah. No, it's great. Everything's holding up nice.
We've been here many times.
Well, that's super.
Yeah, in fact, I came before there was a race. I came for a Sunday race. I flew out, and it had a gravel infield, not grass.
Ooh.
And I had the belly tank, and I gave it a push, and it went around, and the wire dragged a little on the gravel and threw it in the track, and the car went around. Finally went up
End over end?
Yeah, so it was a great start.
Well, that's awesome.
We love the track, though. We love everything.
Again, thank you so much for your time. I hope I haven't interfered too much, okay? Over now.